Hello, everyone. My name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is 11/11/2022. And is this the final move before we go into impulsive mode, into up-only price action? Okay? This is a reasonable question to pose, and I'm going to tell you why. All right. So yesterday, when we were analyzing the price action, I'd said, here, let's go to Bitcoin's price action briefly. I'd said that yesterday, it was likely that something like this. Here, can you see my screen? Sorry, 1 second. I think this new streaming platform is, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna have to check in once in a while to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing, because yesterday we had some technical difficulties. In any case, yesterday I said that this was clearly a three-wave move, right? And if you get a three-wave move, right, expect a counter. Every corrective move, right, that's three waves, right? Because we know, according to Elliott wave theory, if it goes in three, you can expect that to be corrective. So it's not impulsive. It's not going to continue. You should expect a counter, a similar counter. So a three-wave move means it's a flat correction. So you should expect a three-wave move down to a minimum of the 786 level, okay, and a maximum of the 1618 level, okay. So that's why yesterday during the stream I said, I see three waves. I see that at least we tag 16159 because that represents the 786 of these three waves, okay. And so what did we do yesterday? We put in three waves to the downside, which is a counter corrective measure. It's counter to this, okay. So that's a really good sign, right? Why? Because it goes three waves up, three waves down, five waves up. That's how it goes. And so these five waves up should be your first impulsive move up, right? Purely impulsive move up, okay? And this is what we call an AB base, right? This is a consolidation reversal pattern, right? Three waves up, three waves down, and then on a smaller time frames you can see the same thing. And then we can zoom in and see the same thing. 2 degrees of AB basing, okay? So that's why I'm saying this may be the final corrective sequence, because if we zoom out some more, we can see, just as I counted yesterday, and let's just get rid of this for the second, that it's likely that up until now this has been your initial corrective sequence. Three waves up, three waves down, and now you're going to take it to the second degree, and that second degree, three waves up, three waves down, represents the last and final corrective sequence of Bitcoin's price action, and it is commensurate. This is consistent with what the momentum wave is telling us. The momentum saying we're bottomed out and we're about to double bottom on the daily time frame. So that's a really good sign. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. And you're also seeing this throughout the market, and I'm going to show you. Okay, let's go back to the smaller time frames. Let's go back to the hourly time frame, which is also double bottom now. Okay, really good sign for a launch. Now, let's make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. Let's see. This window is ridiculous. I gotta switch windows manually. It's open source software. Sometimes it's not well done. Okay, now you should be able to see it. I think I know the solution to this. 1 second, let me do something. I think it doesn't like the fact that, here, let's try something. Apologies, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try something. so I'm not going to be speaking for a second. I'm just going to try and fix this technical issue that we have here, and I think I know how. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's try that. Okay, now let me go and see how that works. Is this what I want? Okay, now we've gone black. It's confused as to what I did. Now let's fix it. You should be able to see my screen. Okay. Let's resume. Apologies. Okay, now it's working. All right. So you should be looking at the DXY as I'm looking at it. And this is another reason why it's very, very, very probable that we move up. Okay? Because the DXY for the past, if you look at a higher time frame, for the past day and a half has just been plummeting. Okay? Ever since we retested this 14-year resistance, right there in that move, we came down, we retested the 14-year dotted line as resistance. We've just been plummeting, like, impulsively, without respite. This is a great sign. This tells us that it's very likely that, given this, crypto stocks, risk on assets go up. Okay, so that's really, really great. Now, are we finding support here? That's the question. Now, the momentum indicator on the 4-hourly time frame is bottomed, meaning it's oversold. But you can stay oversold for quite some time in big impulsive moves. The question is, are you going to cross? Are you going to start moving up? Are you going to find support? To answer that, I think we have to go to the higher time frames. And the higher time frame shows that the daily is not finding support. It's not crossing. It's still open bearish. That's a really good sign, okay? But the smaller time frames, you can stay, like I said, oversold for quite some time. You've seen it in dumps before, right? That's an example. This is a small example. And likewise, when you're overbought, you can stay overbought on the smaller time frames for quite some time. So I think the move here is to really scrutinize the higher time frame, the daily time frame. If I was bullish on this asset, I didn't know what it was, yeah? And I was in a long, I would be questioning my life decisions. I would be figuring out, okay, trying to bring myself emotionally to terms with taking a loss, because technically, even though I wouldn't want to admit it, I would perceive that there's a lot more pain coming, given that it's not even wicked. There's no bounce or anything like that. It's just straight pain in terms of a downward impulsive move. And, us being in crypto, we know that. We know that chart. We know what that looks like. Yeah. So in response, right, we should see the opposite in crypto. And I think that's coming, and technically it should be coming given what we're seeing here. So I just explained how 16159 is what I expect this to be, given that you have the 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Now on the smaller time frames, you get 3 waves up, 3 waves down. Let's look at the smaller time frame. Let's go on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so you got your 15-minute time frame showing this move right here, which for people who think this is an impulse to the downside and this is the beginning of a big move down, here's the response to that. Here's the counter argument to that. Look at this. This is what you call an initial breakup structure. It's a counter wave. It basically almost completely engulfed the previous wave. So you know that this is a change in trend. This is kind of like, this was a trend, and now this says that trend is complete, okay? That's what we call an A wave. in Elliott wave, okay? And after that, you get a B wave, which is counter, right? And those B waves look like something like this, okay? And then after that, you finally get your move. So this is what I expect. If it's a zigzag, right? If it's 5 waves up, you get 3 waves down to between the 0.5 and the 618, okay? But if it's a 3-wave move, you get 3 waves down to the 0.786 minimum, okay, before a move up. But I do believe that this represents the final move, right, which should take this up, and also on the higher time frame, it should be a response to this. Up, down, up. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing on the charts. This is what the charts are showing. If you're reading it, with the understanding of what it looks like when you perform that consolidation reversal pattern, those AB bases, those reversal patterns, yeah? So that's Bitcoin. Interestingly enough, you can see that throughout the market. So we're just going to go down our small watch list. These are the assets that I'm now trading, right? And if you're in crypto now, it's a game of attrition. If you're still here, if you're still paying attention, if you're still invested, if you still have exposure, congratulations. You've outplayed, you've outtraded most of the market. Most of the market, the smart money, the people who, who many would say are professionals and such, they've been liquidated, they've been stopped out. They're not playing, they're filing for bankruptcy. The big players, okay? That's why it's all about risk management. It's easier said than done. To learn good risk management, you need to fuck up a little bit, in my estimation, to really understand just how important it is. But I do believe that this is it. I mean, this has been one of the hardest things I've ever done personally, trying to trade this bear market and accumulate during this bear market and stay viable during this bear market and protect my positions during this bear market. But it's probably also going to be one of the most rewarding things next to maybe, becoming a father. One of the most rewarding things that I've ever done. So, I put in, a lot. I put in, 18-hour days, waking up in the middle of the night, restructuring trades left and right, getting hit, stopped out, getting liquidated, right? Lots of pain, lots of difficulty. But, it looks to me, based off of the charts, that may be over sooner than later. Okay? So, again, now let's go through and see. Same deal here. You got a 3-wave move in Polkadot. A 3-wave move necessitates another 3-wave move as a counter. Okay? So, you got this as an A wave, this as a B wave on a smaller time frame. You get a second degree of that. Yeah? So if you jump down, you can see what I'm talking about here. This is an initial break of structure. That was the end of this previous trend, right? The end of that. This impulse represents the end of that big B wave that I just showed you, yeah? Now on the smaller time frame, you have another A wave. We call it small a. And then another B wave, a 3-wave move. That should be it. That should yield a move to the upside, right? On the higher time frame. Whoops, wrong time frame. On the higher time frame for this move. Once again, the analysis is like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Look, this is what I'm reading on the charts. I may be wrong, but it's quite consistent. I know some people think I'm an idiot or like I've been wrong since the beginning of time, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you see something that makes more sense, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear it. Okay, this is an example of a zigzag. What does it meant by zigzag in Elliott wave theory? It's instead of 3 waves, let's go on the hourly time frame so you can see a little more definition. It's a 5-wave move, okay? So I've counted it out here. This is Cardano, okay? So this was the big dump um, of a few days back, and then in response we got 5 waves up. Okay, that's a break of trend. This is your initial break of structure. Any break of trend, okay, it's not a 3-wave move, but it's a 5-wave move, but it's corrective. Why do you know it's corrective? One, because it comes right after it's like a reaction to a trend that's ended, okay? The second reason we know is that this counter, okay, this is a counter wave, that's a B wave. And you know that this is not fully impulsive because the time taken for this does not equal the time taken for that, okay? And when that happens, you know that it's not, waves of the same degree are comparable in time and in price. You have the price comparability because it's a zigzag, so it represents so the B wave is going to respect the phi ratio, the 0.5 to 618 of that A wave, okay? That's why you can see the retracement come in this region. But the thing that you have to understand is because it's corrective, this takes way longer. And that's exactly what you got. You got a B wave. It came down to between the 0.5 and the 618. It took way longer than the A wave, okay? And that's your first degree. Go on the small time frame. Again, this analysis is quite consistent. Argue if you want, but for people who really think that I'm full of shit, I'd love to hear your counters. I'd love to hear what you thought was actually happening in the charts. Okay, I'm here to learn. I'm not necessarily here to be right. I'm here to be rich. So this is the A wave. This is the B wave. Okay, not finished yet, but once it completes, I think that you not only go into impulse for this sequence, but also for that previous sequence. Okay, so we're gonna see this different flavors of this AB basing. So now let's repeat. Go back on the higher time frame. Go down to reserve rights. What do you see? In this case, it's a zigzag. Okay, so once again, kind of like Cardano, you got 5 waves up. Okay, in response. Oh, there's something I want to show you. 1 second. Before we leave Cardano, I said this yesterday during the stream. One thing that you should never be surprised by, and I wrote this down as a note to myself early on in my trading career when I was writing notes and observations about the market and about my trading journey. Okay, and I remember very clearly, I'm fascinated by the consistency with which the market prints fractals and symmetrical patterns. It's like art. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Look at this. I said yesterday that I really liked an idea because it would result in a nice symmetrical, sort of aesthetically pleasing pattern. And you see these patterns all the time in reversal, right? What pattern am I referring to? I'm referring to the inverse head and shoulders, which is a reversal pattern for a bullish breakout, right? The head and shoulders is a reversal pattern for a bearish breakout. Here you see the inverse head and shoulders. But I want you to see the symmetry of it, where this is your support, this level maintains your support, and this is your head. Like, that symmetry is more common than not. Okay? So I just wanted to point that out. Okay. Back to the next one. Okay, so reserve rights. You can kind of see the symmetry as well here, right? What do you see? You see this wick, the head, and then more. So what do you expect? Just like, let's say you didn't know any of the technical sort of Elliott wave counts and how to count corrective waves, but you were just a pattern trader. You just traded, and some people do this. You just traded different patterns and you try to spy them throughout the market. Like, you wouldn't be surprised to see this pattern. It's symmetrically consistent, right? You get this kind of activity. Actually, let's be more specific. You get 2 wicks here, ahead, and 2 wicks there, right? That's very nice. Inverse head and shoulders, kind of like what you got in Cardano. And again, so just the technicals of this are the same. 5 waves up, right, as the initial break of structure. So remember, this was the big dump down. You get a reversal right here, right? That's a B wave. So that's a first degree. So that's an A wave. That's an initial break of structure. That's a B wave. So you could say this is big A, big B, and then this is a small A, and this is a small B, and then you have a small pivot here, right? So 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. Boom. That's the extent of your reversal pattern. And then all in all, it looks like an inverse head and shoulders. So the whole idea of AB basing explains, in other words, these reversal patterns that we see throughout the market. And if you go on Investopedia or something like that, you'll see that the head and shoulders represents a reversal pattern. Inverse head and shoulders represents a bullish reversal pattern. Head and shoulders represents a bearish reversal pattern. Okay. So on the small time frame, zooming in, 15-minute time frame, what do we have? Same thing. Okay. It's a fractal. Break of structure, right? A B wave of some sort, but that's the first leg of the B wave. Second leg of the B wave, I think we do this, something like that, okay? To complete this B wave, to complete this pivot, sorry, I guess you would call this small a, right? Something like this before a move up, okay? So that's reserve rights. Very similar to what you see in Cardano. But that's the read, and this is the analysis, right? And this is why I'm saying it's likely that we see, not just because of that, but also looking at the DXY, which is completely plummeting. All things that we want to see for a bullish breakout in crypto. Okay, now let's go back in our watch list. Guys, I know it's tough. I know very few people remain. And even if you do, you're probably not watching content or probably not on YouTube, and I do not blame you. This is one of the hardest things I've ever done. And if you're able to do this, whether you watch this content or not, or you're watching this much, much later after we're well in the bull market, congratulations. Really is difficult, and, that's why when some people are like, oh, I heard you can make a lot of money trading crypto. It's like, unless you're willing to trade a lot of time and energy and effort and pain for those gains, you may not want to get into it. You may not want to get into it. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. And people who get lucky, maybe they just get lucky. But those people are fewer and far between. Most people make a lot and then they lose a lot, right? But if you make money in this market, to make money in this market, you got to kind of know what you're doing. You got to know how to trade. You got to know how to read. You got to know what to invest in. You got to know how to protect your investments, how to diversify your risk profile, right? Maybe you use a few good exchanges. There's other exchanges you don't use, right? You have some crypto on cold storage. You know how to do all that stuff. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right. Anyway, again, we can see some symmetry here. Okay. In Dodo, this is a small cap altcoin. This was a move down. And what we got out of here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves out of that. And a 3-wave move, which I would say is the first leg of a B wave, second leg of a B wave. This is the impulsive leg of the B wave. So that, to me, is 1 degree of AB basing. And then once again, whoops. Once again, we zoom into this, right? Go on the 15-minute time frame, and we can see some more AB basing, but just on a smaller time frame, right? Anytime price changes direction, it needs to put in these AB bases. I haven't seen really anybody talk about this, but how else do you explain this sideways consolidation after big moves? It's not a corrective, it's not intra-wave correction, because you're changing directions. You're going up and down and up and down and up and down, and your trend is changing. Okay, this is how you change trend. A/B basing. Whether you believe it or not, it's there. So I think you're coming down a little more. If you're not finished, you're coming down a little more for this B wave right here, and that represents your pivot before you're going up. Maybe it's already done. I don't know. Maybe it's a running flat correction. Who knows? Maybe we see a pump together on stream. We'll pop some champagne and we'll sing, Post Malone's congratulations. But if not, we'll just keep waiting, as we have been doing for the past, couple years. Fuck. Okay, Ethereum. Let's go on the higher time frame. Okay, again, you can see on the higher time frame. Actually, let's go on the hourly time frame. Ethereum, you can see some nice symmetry, right? You had the move down, you had the counter in 5 waves, you had sort of the break of structure rather in 5 waves, and now you have the counter in 3 waves, which is a B wave, right? It's a counter to this initial break of structure. It's tagged the 0.5, which is the minimum retracement of a B wave, but it's respected the phi ratio, the 0.618. It didn't go beyond the phi ratio. So this is what we would call a zigzag, okay? So that's one big A wave. This is one big B wave. And then on the smaller time frame, you should see a smaller version of that AB base, okay? So let's go on the smaller time frames. Let's see. Is there a hotkey for turning this on? I guess not. I just toggle that the most, and it'd be great if I had a hotkey on my keyboard, but whatever. Again, A wave, and I think the B wave may be done. It may be another zigzag here. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Maybe. I'm not sure. Okay. But I think we're very, 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 very close. And yeah, I've been saying that for months. But, here's another stab at it. And here's why. It's not so much what I say, it's why I say what I say. I think, if you're looking at analysis, it doesn't necessarily have to be right to be good. Good analysis is substantiated, in my estimation. And it's substantiated with sound analysis, with sound theories, based off of sound, high probabilistic moves. That's, to me, is good analysis, but you may disagree. Okay. Again, Zilliqa. You see the symmetry? Here's your inverse head and shoulders that's forming. Okay. Again, 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Where did it stop? It stopped right at the 0.618, which is your maximum retracement for a B wave in a zigzag, right? Not making this stuff up, not we're not picking and choosing which examples we want to show. I'm literally going down every single last asset in my watch list and showing you. I'm not just picking one example or 2 examples that follow the theory, right? Nothing has really broken the rule. And if something breaks the rule, then maybe it shouldn't be a rule. You see what I mean? But to me, this is quite clear. Okay, and we did say this yesterday. It's likely that this was an initial break of structure because I saw a 3-wave move in Bitcoin. So we were likely to get a counter wave before we get a full impulse. Okay, so it's there's no real surprises today. 3 waves, and then here a second degree AB base. When I'm surprised, trust me, because I tell you, I didn't see that coming. But this is nothing out of the ordinary. A wave, I think a B wave, maybe something like that. Perhaps that's it. coming up. Okay, we'll see. We will see. About to get a cross here on the 15-minute time frame. We'll see what that means, what that does. Okay. Dogecoin. Let's zoom out. What do we see? Okay, let's see. So Dogecoin also gives you nice symmetry, right? Inverse head and shoulders. You typically see these inverse head and shoulders in big reversals. Okay? On small time frames, you see them in small reversals. On large time frames, you see them on big reversals. They're a reversal pattern. Okay, let's for those of you who may not be here, let's just look at that. Actually, let's Google it. Okay. Some people think I'm just making it up. Okay, head and shoulders pattern is a specific chart formation that predicts a bullish to bearish trend reversal. Okay? So that's a head and shoulders pattern, and the inverse head and shoulders pattern is bearish to bullish, okay? So you get the 3 peaks. So yeah, inverse head and shoulders pattern predicts a bearish to bullish trend. Yep. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Okay, an inverse head and shoulders pattern is also a reliable indicator signaling that a downward trend is about to reverse into an upwards trend. In this case, the stock's price reaches 3 consecutive lows separated by temporary rallies. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I'm saying, but in other words, right? So disadvantages. Novice traders may miss it. It's not easy. Why is it not easy? Because it has to do with the mode of price action that is consolidation reversal, corrective sideways price action, where, you know, trends change from one way to another. Very difficult to read. Okay? That's why it's hard to say, oh, it's going to stop here, it's going to stop there. Thankfully, Elliott Wave gives us some guidelines as to how to read and where the counter is going to come, right? With the B wave and stuff like that, in terms of a zigzag or a flat correction. But a flat correction can still go from anywhere from the 786 to the 1618. So it's hard to trade, and that's why it's unfavorable as a risk to reward possibility. But on a low time frame, with low leverage, it's possible to trade. But with high leverage, it's very challenging, very hard to trade. Yeah, but essentially, this is what I've been saying, right? Yeah, so this is the head and shoulders pattern once again in Dogecoin. Again, I'm not cherry picking anything. I'm showing you my whole watch list, and I think there's one thing in the watch list that's in a different mode. Otherwise, everything is printing this inverse head and shoulders bullish pattern, and I think it's complete once this breaks out right here. Okay, and once again, let's zoom in to what that is, and that's again your pivot, or what I call the pivot, right? It's a smaller it's a smaller AB base, right? So that's an A wave, obviously. It breaks the structure of this downtrend, which is the impulsive move of this B wave, okay? And then 1, 2, 3. Maybe 3 comes down here. Maybe it stops here because it's a running flat. Who knows? But on a smaller time frame, you're getting another AB base. You understand? It's like a fractal Russian doll. On a smaller time frame, we go on the minute time frame, we'd probably see the same thing print over and over and over again. A wave, B wave, A, B, move. A wave, B wave, A, B, move. A wave, B wave, A, B, move. Right? Something like that. Okay, let's go back on the hourly time frame. So that was Dogecoin. This is Binance Coin. This is something I got involved in last night. Okay, instead of a zigzag here, you have a clear flat correction. What do we say about flat corrections? The minimum retracement is the 786. Where did this B wave come to? Literally, not a penny less. Or not a penny less, yeah, than the 786, right? And right as it tagged the 786, it finished, right? This B wave, this is A wave, right? 3-wave move. Because it's a 3-wave move, you know it's a flat correction. 5-wave moves are going to produce zigzag corrections, right? In corrective mode. And now we just focus on this portion, right? On the smaller time frames. And that should show you a pivot or another round of AB basing, which I don't believe is finished yet. I think you get a move like this. So it comes right back down here. And once this happens, if this is indeed the case, it's going to be unmistakable that we've changed modes. What do I mean by that? The price will just start shooting up. Okay? It's like a switch will be turned on, right? We've left corrective, consolidation reversal mode, and we've gone into full-on impulsive mode. So it won't be really there won't be much doubt. That's the word I'm looking for. There won't be much doubt as to if this analysis is correct or it's not correct. Once it finishes, we should get a run. Okay. But yeah, so far, I mean, just, always checking in with our main indicator, the DXY. It's looking great. It's looking very bearish, and it's just been dumping. Like, it's bleeding. It's bleeding out. It's almost like the way this is moving down, it's not going fast, but it's a sustained bleed. Do you see? With no support. It's just, this is fast, but this is just a sustained bleed. More and more and more and more. Okay? That tells me that it's in a bearish impulse. Okay? It's in a bearish impulse. And that there's, technically speaking, there's a lot of buy orders. There's a lot of people who have put in buy orders, or else it would have just dropped down. But given that it's such a big asset, right? And a lot of people are buying and selling it, I think that's why it's really, slowly matriculated downwards. Even though it's not, it's not doing this, but it's on a small time frame. It's doing that, right? So that's good. That's really good for the bullish case in crypto, by the way. Okay. So yeah, that was Binance. Litecoin. Okay, this is the exception, and it's not an exception to the rule. It's just an exception that this may be in a different mode than other assets. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. Litecoin may already be in up-only price action. Okay, because here you can see. Actually, let's go on a smaller time frame, or else you won't be able to see it. And let's turn on the lines for this, so you can really tell my analysis. Okay, here you can start counting Elliott waves, and you do have an impulsive move up, right? But unlike the zigzags that you've seen in Cardano or in some other assets, you don't have a retracement to the 0.5. Why is that? There is no 0.5 retracement here. Okay? So what is likely the explanation is that somewhere in this price action for the past 180 days, Litecoin has put in it's 2 degrees of AB basing, right? Something like, I don't know. No. This would be A. This would be B. This would be A. This would be B. And then a consolidation reversal on a smaller time frame out. Okay? I think somewhere already that this has already completed its 2 degrees of AB basing, its pivot, and it's now in impulsive price action. Okay? What would tell us that? So on the high time frame, if we looked at volume may be some indication, a lot of volume, right? At this point, may be some indication, okay? And we do have a spike in volume here, okay? Maybe that's an indication. And actually, to be honest, it's not the most volume we've ever had. The most volume we ever had is here, but that volume right here now is approaching the highest volume we've had in the past 6 months for Litecoin. The other reason is on the smaller time frame. Let's get rid of the volume indicator. There's just so much volume on Litecoin, by the way, and I don't know why. I guess a lot of people are trading it, a lot of institutions and whatnot. If you look, I count 1, 2, 3, and how did I get 3? I just basically took wave 1, retracement of wave 2, and targeted the 1618 to 2 Fibonacci extension to give me wave 3. And then this yields a wave 4. That's clearly a complex correction, right? It's a little bit of a running flat correction, very bullish. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think what we're in is an expanded wave 5 or an extended wave 5, because since we've gone into this area, we've been holding this level right here above. Here, let's redraw this. We've been holding this level right here above this neckline, which tells me that this is likely going to break out at the very least as high as the height of this inverse head and shoulders. Okay, because you've broken this neckline, which is a confirmation, actually, if you look at the Investopedia article and you just have a little experience trading these patterns, confirmation of any head and shoulders or inverse head and shoulders, as we saw here, right? Let's go on the daily time frame. Confirmation of these patterns, a breakout exists once you break the neckline. And just like we did in the DXY, we broke the neckline, right? Then you know you're coming down, and you know you're coming down at the very least the height of the highest peak, right? The height of the highest peak of your head and shoulders. Okay, so back to Litecoin. That's why I'm thinking that Litecoin is already in pure impulse, okay? And so if we're already in pure impulse, the best count that I have personally is this, that wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 printed, and now we're printing an extended or expanded wave 5, however you want to call it. And this is wave 1 of 5. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm looking at something in a different way that I didn't look at it. Let's see that. I may like this better. I love doing this stream because sometimes I have epiphanies that I don't have when I'm by myself. I always say that. Okay. And even if no one's watching, I don't know, it still works. I don't know who's watching, I don't care. Yeah, this is good. 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 Okay. All right. I think that what we've got here is wave 1 of that expanded wave 5, okay? And you put in an ending diagonal. So this is like a quintessential ending diagonal wave 5. Okay, so this is your wave 1 of this extended wave 5, and this is the 1, 2, 3 wave move of your extended wave 5. Okay, so this is wave 1 of 5, extended wave 5. This is wave 2 of extended wave 5, and now you're putting in a consolidation reversal for wave 3 of extended wave 5. And just let's measure this actually, because I just now saw this, right? And we can count this. How would you count it? So here, let's make this a primary degree. Okay, and let's make this transparent so that we can clean up a little bit. Okay, and now let's put in a count just for the extension, the wave 5 extension. Okay, and let's make that an intermediate, which is 1 degree lower than the primary. Okay, so that would be wave 1 here, wave 2 here. Okay, now let's just put these other waves there as placeholders for the moment. Change the degree down to intermediate, so we know what we're talking about. Okay, and so what did I do to kind of confirm that it's likely that this is a wave 1, wave 2 situation? Again, waves of the same degree are comparable in time and in price. So this took about 14 hours right here, and this took about 14 hours. So that's, and then this retracement is between the 382 and the 618. So everything works out, technically speaking, okay? So what we're going to do for this extension is we're just going to, let's measure it in terms of a minimum extension, given that we have wave 1 and wave 2, okay? A likely wave 1 and wave 2. Again, wave 3 is going to, at the very least, likely come up to the 1618. Okay, between the 2 and the 1618 and the 2 Fibonacci extension. Wave 4, probably going to retest some resistance as support, probably the top of this right here. And then wave 5, come to our minimum extension for any impulsive wave of 2236. Okay, so that would take us to around 90. Okay, that's just the minimum extension. Let's go on the higher time frame, see what that looks like. Okay, it's close to what I estimated just using support and resistance, right? See this circled 5 right here? That's the end of my primary wave 5 projection, and this is based off of what I just did, just projecting this extension just based off of regular wave extensions, run-of-the-mill wave extensions. Okay, so I would not be surprised if we got into the 90 region for Litecoin with this wave count. But that would mean, if this is true, this is an example of an asset that is in pure impulse, that has completed its consolidation reversal pattern. Okay, and so the retracements, as you can see, you can't see that right now, as you will see. Here, let's put this over here. Okay, and what should we do? So you guys can see what I'm talking about. Let's make that opaque. Okay, something like that, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if you got something like that, okay? And so as you can see, the retracement, once you're in impulse, the retracements are few and far between. Like, you're not really retracing all that much. You're kind of just going up, and when you're retracing, it's, whoops. Yikes. All right. When you're retracing, it's minimal. Retracing, minimally. Retracing, minimally, right? Most of what you're doing is you're choosing the direction. So if this is a positive impulse, right, then you're going up more than not. So that's my look on Litecoin, and this is the exception in my watch list of assets that may already be in full on impulse. Okay. Another check into the DXY. It looks great. Love it. One of the best charts in the game right here. A dumping DXY. This has to translate. As I said yesterday, it has to translate. There's no other way. It has to translate into positive price action for Bitcoin and for cryptos. Just does. All right, almost done. We got synthetics. Okay, again, I just want you to notice one of our main indicators, our stochastic RSI, our momentum indicator, they're zeroed out. They're bottomed out. Okay, so on the hourly time frame, you know, they're also oversold, completely bottomed out. Sorry, you couldn't see it. Completely bottomed out on the daily time frame, about to cross bullish. This is a great indication of a big move right around the corner. Okay? I know you've heard that a bunch, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, I can only do the analysis. I don't have a crystal ball. Just playing the probabilities here. Again, you can see some type of inverse head and shoulders. This one's a bit slanted, but, you know, we tend to see slanted head and shoulders sometimes in a weaker asset. Okay, this would constitute a bit of a weaker asset where the head and shoulders has a slanted neckline, just indicating that, okay, it's been making slightly lower lows. Inverse head and shoulders, rather. Okay, here I think you have a good 3-wave move or 5-wave move, right? Which would indicate a zigzag. So the subsequent counter of this A wave would be 1, 2, 3, respecting the 0.5 to 618, right? And so you pull out your retracement tool from the bottom here. I don't know if I pulled this right. Either I didn't pull it right, or this is not a 5-wave move, it's a 3-wave move. Because, here, let's try again. I think this is, oh, okay, I didn't pull it right, that's why. Okay, so I think this is a 5-wave, hold up. Let's try again. Yeah, okay, it works, right? I count, because I counted 5 waves on a smaller time frame, right? I counted 5 waves, right? Like so. Got 3 waves down to the 0618, slightly wicked the 618 level, but didn't breach it. And now we have a smaller degree AB base happening. Jump in the smaller time frame, and we can see what's going on there. And just like every other asset, you can see initial break of structure, another A wave, and then a 3 waves. Expect to get 5 waves in some way to complete this AB base. And once that's complete, it should take us into that next mode of impulsive price action. So that's what I'm seeing. And because we're already in a zigzag, I think that this impulse respects this level right here. Okay? This small move to the downside respects that level in synthetics. Okay, last but not least, and guys, if you have anything you want me to look at, just let me know in the chat. Last but not least, synthetics. Jeez, what's happening here? Or, sorry, last but not least, Telcoin. Telcoin may be another one that's in full impulse. Why? Look at what it did. Okay, this is clearly an impulse right here. Okay, whether you can read it or not, look at the base. It's clearly impulsive, and you follow. That's not the count, but I just wanted to. If you wanted to count it, you have to go on small time frames. But I don't think that's the purpose. The Whole point is this is clearly not a three-wave move, okay? There's no way you can say this is a three-wave move. Even if you measured it, you would completely break the 1 to 1, 2, 3, 6, which is your maximum extension of a C wave of a three-wave move. So I think this is safe to say whatever this is, it's impulsive. But like Litecoin, I think it's in the middle of an impulse. Or it's complete. All right, let's leave both on the table. Either it's in the middle of an impulse or it's complete, okay? Let's say it's complete. If it was complete, then this would be your two-wave, okay? If this were your two-wave, then what would have to be true? The time it took for your move up, and the time it takes for, or it took rather, for your side wave would have to be comparable. Okay? And it kind of is, but I don't know that it's close enough that we can say that they're waves of the same degree. I think this move ends right here. Okay? So I think 5 hours is a bit too large of a discrepancy for us to say these are waves of the same degree. Also, let's do something else. Okay? Here's another way you can tell. Just like we did with Bitcoin, or Litecoin rather. Did it hit the 0.5? Okay? Because why are we looking for a 0.5 retracement? Is because we know if this is a corrective wave, this is an A wave, and this is a B wave, that the minimum retracement is 0.5. We have not hit the 0.5. Okay? Even if I'm very careful and let's say I pulled this Fibonacci retracement tool incorrectly. Let's pull it to this wick. Still haven't hit the 0.5. We haven't retraced the minimum amount to make this a corrective sequence. This is why I think this is in full impulse. Also, if you just look at the base, there's nothing in the base that tells me that there's some corrections and then an impulse, right? It just looks like it's like, okay, new mode, right? So to me, in order to read Telcoin, I think Telcoin and Litecoin are the two assets on my watch list that are in different modes. They're in impulsive mode. Let's see. All right, we're almost finished. Just this one last point here. Let's go on the really small time frame, see if we can't read this. To me, this looks like a complete wave. And why do I say that? It's because here you have your quintessential ending wave 5 diagonal. Okay? This seems to me like you put in wave 1, wave 2. Oops. Or no. Maybe wave 2 is... Wave 2 is over here. This was an extended wave 3, and then you got kind of a regular wave 5. But it looks to me like this is a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 situation. And then you got your minimum retracement of 382, okay, which is the minimum retracement for wave 2. I think we pull it from here, okay, and you're well beyond the 382. You're almost to the 0.5, but not quite there yet, okay. And then as we saw, the time is close. It's close to be of the same degree. I think given everything that we know, it can't be. It's more than likely a full-on impulse, okay? So this is 18 hours and 15 minutes. So smaller time frames sometimes give more accurate results. And let's say that this is the end. It's about a day. This is tough. This is tough. But if I had venture to say, there's another option. There's another option. I think this is another option where you're still in this impulse. It's fully impulsive. I think it's more likely than not that it's fully impulsive. But the thing about this is maybe this is just not yet complete, and you're going to put in your final wave to here, and you're going to complete wave 5 like that. And this was a wave 4 that was a steep wave 4 that broke the 382 because it's some kind of leading diagonal. Okay, so that would explain wave 4 breaking the 382, and it would also explain why this took a lot longer than this. Okay, so I think that is the best explanation given all the facts that we have. You have an extended wave that's in a complex wave 4 correction and has yet to put in its final wave 5, which should take you up and past or at this region, this resistance. Okay, so that's my read on Telcoin, guys. That's my read on the market. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. It's almost finished. It's almost over. This nightmare of a bear market is almost over. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. You've been so resilient. You will be rewarded. It will happen, and very soon. All right, take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or today's Friday, yeah? Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for the quick hit pre-recorded show. All right, take care.